Good morning, everybody. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure to be here, to be on the other side, being asked the question. Thursday remains memorable. It remains quite unique. It remains eventful. It remains a day to reckon with. It's a day that Ndenugu had a real feel of what they've been hearing and going through, zoning or not zoning. The evolution, the practice, and the convention. And that day was actually quite eventful. First of all, thank God it was a beautiful day, but the weather was clement. And as early as 10 o'clock, the first set of guests came. Embarrassingly, when the representative of His Excellency Sullivan Chime came, we were still caught pants down. We were not even ready by 10 on the dot. There was another man that was trained in Imperial College. These are people sticklers for time. They were there on the dot of 10 o'clock. And of course, a book launch is not always, it's not a social gathering, like so to speak. So it's very serious-minded people that come there. I decided it appeared as if the hall wasn't going to be filled up, but gradually it became like, bam, look at tap, and people, it was filled to the brim. And like others have said, you had dignitaries, you had Governor of Enugu State represented by the Commissioner for Information, we had Sullivan Ihana Chachime represented by his former Chief of Staff, Victor Atwong. We had Ifeanyi Uwanyi Buruburu, the ambassador designate, represented by Professor Mabu. We had Ositamgu represented by Luke Umbo, and we had traditional rulers. Of course, we had one of the finest traditional rulers in Nigeria. His Royal Majesty Igwe Ambassador Dr. Agubuzo, who, of course, it was not long that he went to Abuja and spoke truth to power. Of course, he was there as chairman, and we had Ogadagidi himself, the chairman of the State Traditional Rulers Council, and then we have Ibudu Achi, Izali, Ketan Achi, and we have Igbo Uchi, the chairman of Uwetiti Traditional Rulers Council, and other traditional rulers. And then, of course, we had our reviewer, and we had the parties. We had the chairman of APC, we had Uchen Naji, represented by Okereke Chinoye, and there were others. They have the former chairman of APCA. In fact, so it was a rainbow of sorts, people from all walks of life. Then we have the vice chancellors, we have virtually the head of every media organization in Enugu State. And that balance of Dream FM, Urban actually, freed from Lagos. We had Mba of Ifia TV. So anybody that was somebody.
Kodogo.
We had Kodogo of Dream FM. We had Wole Radio. And I had my PhD students. And the one that really gave me a lot of joy and tears was when I saw my general manager, UCDMC, Uche Gabriel,
with his
walking stick, bandage, and he brought tears and joy because he is also an author. And then we had universities represented, VCs with their students. In fact, you could say it was what is it we call Sea of Heads. People were there, the hall was full, and the education went well. Part of the point was a book reviewer, Chinedunu. I recall when the team were trying to say who would be, we were looking for big names, professors. But eventually we agreed that we should actually try a practical academic politician. And I think he discharged his duties creditably. And then everything went fine. Well, they're not too happy about it. One sore point of that day, one saw what happened at the end of that event. And I don't know what it is. People say that I shouldn't say it, but I should say it. The management of International Conference Center should be a little have a human face. The moment that we said our closing prayers, they shut down the AC, they shut down the entire place, they shut down the light, they shut Kai. See, they were preserving. And I had a banter with my brother, who is actually the manager of the place. They had a banter. I said, no. Of course, if we were given a warning, now, gentlemen, we'll be off, we'll shut this thing down in the next 30 minutes. But put your asses together. But automatically, just like that, boom! I said, bam, bam, bam. It's not done in last class like that. You don't do such things. That was the sub point, but of course, that was towards the end. And thank God, just 30 minutes into that, their darkness, the NEPA, we were talking, so to speak, and then we had light without an AC, but it was okay. I think they need to change that method. If you need to shut down, please kindly inform. One of the things is their business, but inform them. Gentlemen, can you just round up? Like you have the next 30 minutes to do what? You have the next 30 minutes for us to shut down. I think you are finished. So okay, let's pack our things. Everybody, you don't do it in darkness. But otherwise, it was a beautiful day, and my colleagues will speak their mind. But it was an event that we look forward to again and again and again.